It'll be a brand new tie for you, Clay.
Maybe some socks if I'm lucky.
Hey, tell me about the two teams. Obviously, let's start with Sherryland Soccer. For those folks in the huddle that aren't familiar with them, give us a little insight into them.
Well, they're one of your natural. They're just like one of the other 5A teams from the Valley that has won state before. They are a team that controls the ball. They are a team with lots of guys who are fast and can run full speed while keeping the soccer ball between their feet. They're all about the ball control. They've got a great goalkeeper in Jorge Medina. They've got a couple of great scorers and Jose Alvarez, who got the 2 goals the other day. Daniel Garcia, he's the guy who wears number 10 for him. But anybody can score on this team. They're fantastic. If it weren't for Brownsville teams, this would probably be the 3rd or 4th time that Sherryland would be in the state tournament. It's always been Brownsville teams that have stood in their way before. They've always been good enough to make it. It's just that they've always come up against a red-hot Brownsville team in years past. But this is the year that they were able to get past the Brownsville team. And as we all know, if you win Region 4, if you win South Texas in 5A, then your chances are really good of winning the entire thing.
So is it just that Region 4 is, the better soccer conference, shall we say, the better soccer region?
Yeah, it's the best soccer region in the state, and it's fantastic. It is so much fun to watch because it's all about ball control down here. It's all about keeping control of the ball and completely frustrating your opponent. They cannot get the ball away from Valley teams. These teams from upstate, these teams from Austin, from Dallas. They're all about booming the ball. They're all about big English soccer. They're all about big, long passes. And it just doesn't work against a ball control team. Our teams go up there, and they hold on to the ball the entire time. They've got tremendous skills dribbling the ball. They keep it. The other team can't get it away from them, and they end up making big mistakes. They end up getting yellow cards, red cards. We had the kid from Mansfield the other day just basically started doing WWE takedowns at the end of the game against Sherryland 2 days ago because they just got so frustrated that they can't get the ball away. And, when you've got the ball the entire game, basically the other team is going to make a mistake at some point, and that's how Sherryland gets their points.
Action 4 News Sports Director Clay Williams joining us here in the huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio on his way up to Austin to cover the Sherryland matchup. And Sherryland's opponent, is it Charleston? Is that who they're facing today?
They're Katy Morton Ranch. Morton Ranch High School out of Katy. They will be a tough team. They will be the toughest opponent that Sherryland has faced since Lopez last weekend. Anyway, this is going to be a tougher team than Mansfield. Mansfield was a team that had made that it was their first time in a state tournament, and they weren't used to the style that we play down here. Now, Katy Morton Ranch, they are a little more accustomed to the style that we play. They've got some really fast guys on that team, and the one especially, I believe his name is Oscar Acuna. He just came back from an injury this last week. He scored 2 goals 2 days ago. He's their top scorer. He's fast. He's good, but they don't have a whole team like this guy. That's why I think Sherryland definitely has the advantage today. But make no mistake, this is a team that will be more used to the type of play that the Rattlers bring to the field.
So this is almost, and forgive the NFL reference, Steelers-Ravens. I mean, the defenses are so much alike that this is the way it's going to break down. And we hit that one dead point as soon as I bring up the Steelers-Ravens matchup. Let's try getting them back on, Jeremy. We'll break away with Clay Williams, Action 4 News Sports Director.
He's right by that. He's by that rest area on I-37. You go by that one, you got to stop. It's the last one you can go to before you hit San Antonio.
You bust out the reference and you're trying to put it in terms. Yep. All of a sudden it just craps out on you.
He's a Cowboys fan, so
is that what it is?
Yeah, I can see that.
Pobrecito. We'll have to forgive him for that, but.
And the thing is, he's right about the style of play that we played on here because we're more shifty, like water bugs. We're all over the place. And these guys are going to go for
they're going for the boom and kicks.
Yeah, and the headers and a lot of big playability. But against us, it's a little bit different.
The last time we talked about soccer, I brought up the fact that I prefer the Italian league soccer, the Serie A soccer, in which it's a lot of the boom and kicks, it's a lot of the headers, in comparison to the Mexican style of soccer, where if you get a 1-0 lead on somebody, then you just pass that ball around to each of the guys in the same colored jersey that you're in. Clay Williams, we got him back on the phone, joining us back in the huddle again. Clay, we talked about the styles of each team, and to go NFL for the guys that may not be fully up to speed on soccer, this is a lot like a Steelers-Ravens matchup. These two teams, albeit that the Steelers have more defensive players that can run the defense, the Ravens aren't too far behind.
Right, exactly right. But they just don't have as many of those players as it does, and that's why I think the Rattlers have the advantage today and why they're probably favored to go ahead and win the state championship today. Morton Ranch has some great players, has some very skilled players, but up and down the lineup, Sterling has guys who can dribble the ball, who can keep the ball away, and who can and they're just so fast. These Rattlers are, and it's fantastic to watch them play. This time of year, going up to the soccer tournament, it's one of my favorite times of the year because I just love watching these teams from upstate try to hang with our guys, and they just can't do it. It's so much fun, and they get so rattled and they get so frustrated, these teams from upstate, because they just can't hang with our guys. It's fun to watch a game. It's fun to watch all these games at the state tournament where the Valley has a decided advantage over the rest of the teams.
Now, the game is scheduled for 1 o'clock, and we've put the link up on our 956sports.com and on our Facebook page on where you can watch the game. Clay, is this a good matchup to Sharyland Katie Morton, or would it have been a better Brownsville Katie Morton matchup?
6 to 1, half a dozen of the other, in my opinion. I mean, Sharyland proved this year that they were the team to beat. I mean, if you ask a lot of people, the real soccer mavens in the Valley, they will tell you that they thought Brownsville Rivera was the most team in the Valley, and they cannot believe that they got, that they ended up getting beat as early as they did. But the thing is, no matter who comes out of the Valley, they're going to be favored. Any team that comes out of the Valley and goes to the state tournament, and I should, go ahead and this by saying, let me hedge my bets. We've had teams that have gone to state before that have not won. Porter a couple of years ago tried for their second state championship, and they weren't able to do it. They fell to a team from the DFW area. Rivera has gone to the state tournament and lost. But overwhelmingly, when we have teams go up there, it doesn't matter who it is, they have been through the gauntlet. If you are able to win in the Valley, then you are able to pretty much, you should be favored to win the entire state tournament.
Switching gears, going from soccer to golf, we do have some local Valley golfers that are also going to be in the state competition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 6 golfers from Sharyland, which is an odd number for any team to bring up because, there's 5 golfers to a team, but we've got 6 golfers from Sharyland going because their A team came in second in the 5A regional golf tournament, and then they had another golfer from the B team who ended up being one of the top golfers, not on one of the top 2 teams to go. So instead of just sending a regular team of 5, Sharyland's got 5 and an individual in the boys golf that's going. And then in the girls, Jessica Tommen of Edinburgh, who, is already committed to play at St. Edward's in Austin. She came away with a huge come-from-behind victory, playoff hole at Los Lagos, and she's going to state as well. So we've got 7 in all, 7 Valley golfers going. And once again, it's a testament to being able to play golf down in the Valley and the fact that we were able to get the regional golf tournaments down in the Valley for this year and last year. It helps our people, they're able to sleep in their own beds. They've got local course knowledge. It's only fair. And now that it's going to be moving around, maybe next year it'll be in Corpus, maybe one year it'll be in Laredo. It will go back to San Antonio at some point, just like the regional soccer tournament did. But from now on, it's going to be rotating, and it's going to be more fair to all of the Region 4 people, all the Region 4 athletes, where before 2 years ago, everybody from down in the Valley had to go up to San Antonio for anything, whether it was golf or whether it was soccer or basketball. And next year, the regional basketball tournament's coming down here. So things are becoming a lot more fair for Valley athletes when it comes to regional tournaments.
Clay, on Jessica Tomlin, she was a junior last year and had good success. And now that she's a senior, a lot of people are thinking that she may be the one that can take it all home, can't she?
Yeah, she's definitely got a shot. I mean, I think this is either her third or maybe her fourth year at state. If I'm right, I think she qualified for state when she was a freshman as well. So obviously she knows what's going on up there. She's been to that course several times, the one up in Austin, which name escapes me at the moment. I can't remember which course. But, when you've been to state already for 2 or 3 years, you're not scared of anything. You're not scared of the big stage. You know what's going to happen. And there's no way it's going to be as windy up in Austin as it is down in the valley. So she doesn't have to worry about fighting the wind. Although if it was windy, maybe that'd be more in her favor just because some of the golfers up there aren't as used to it as our valley golfers are.
And that would be a little home cooking, shall we say, even up in Central Texas for Jessica.
Yeah, we would love to see that because if there's one thing our golfers down here know how to do, it's compete in the wide open spaces with a lot of wind. Enough of those tight driveways with tons of trees and lots of hills and no wind. We need the wide open spaces. That's what we need.
And how is the young Miss Williams doing in her soccer game, my friend?
Her soccer game starts up in an hour and 20 minutes. Her team is undefeated this year. The Killer Bees are doing fantastic, and she loves playing the defense. So they're doing great today.
Do they have the official team sponsorship from the local hockey team?
No. I should talk to the guys over there. I should talk to Trey Medlock, see if he wants to be a sponsor for our Killer Bees. But no official sponsor. They used to be the Bumblebees back when they were cute little girls. Now that they're big, ferocious 8- and 9-year-olds, now they're the Killer Bees.
Hey, Clay, we were going over this a little bit ago, the NFL draft. RG3, there's some comments made about him by a scout about, his personality, I guess, the way he worked well with others. What'd you take out of that?
I take out of that to say it happens every single year. A bunch of scouts get together and somebody wants to prove that they know more about scouting than somebody else, so they leak this information, wanting to make some noise, wanting to make a story so he can see his name up in there, and it's a bunch of bull. It's the same guys who leak the Wonderlic test grades every year. They just want to put something out there, and it's not fair. It's not fair to RG3. It's not fair to any of the guys who get their Wonderlic test scores leaked or anything else. It's when you're that high, people try to tear you down. And, maybe somebody third, fourth, maybe one of those Cleveland Brown scouts who's so desperate for a quarterback, maybe they want to put that out there just in the hope and pray that situation that RG3 might fall to them, Maybe if I can put some doubt out there that RG3 is not everything he's cracked up to be, maybe he'll fall to my team. But, that's not happening. Dan Snyder and the Washington Redskins are committed to RG3, and from what I'm hearing, they've already started talks with his agents. Now that the Colts have already committed and told Andrew Luck that they're going to take him first, but I've heard that the Redskins have already started making some overtures to Robert Griffin III's agent. So I wouldn't make anything of it. It happens every year. Somebody leaks something trying to drag a guy down, but basically it's just somebody just hoping that RG3 spoke to them.
Not that you have a horse in the race, but who would you take? Would you take Tannehill or would you take Whedon?
Tannehill or Whedon? See, it depends on what you want. If I needed a backup quarterback who I wanted to come in and work for me right away, and I needed somebody cheap and who could understand my offense immediately, I take Whedon. But if I wanted a project for my backup quarterback, somebody who I could, who I thought maybe in 3 or 4 years could become a starter in this league, then I'd take Tannehill. He's got the bigger upside. Whedon will work quicker. If your guy gets injured, he's 28 years old. He knows how to run an offense. He'd be your immediate guy. But if you want a project quarterback who you think might become a starter down the line, something like just like Tony Romo, basically came in. Nobody knew who he was. Parcells picked him up. 5 years later, he's the starter. That's what people are thinking about what